How you guys doing? This is very important. Last night I slept in my cargo shorts. And the satellite man was still hitting me in the jaw and damaging my face and teeth. There's certain laws in reference to cargo shorts. There's all kinds of clothing laws in reference to clothes that a person wears. Slept in my T-top shirt. You know that, right? So, in reference to the government man terrorizing me, violating my bedding, that's bedding, violating my mattress, violating my pillows. I got Serta, Sealy, Beauty Rest pillows, and some other pillows on my bed. And a satellite man's been hitting me in the head and face all these years. Where's the lawsuit monies from those companies in reference to the government trying to murder me? Now, in reference to political people or any person slandering my character, I always countersue. It's always big government trying to play their tricks, trying to manipulate, and their race and religion has to be documented, whoever these people are and where they came from and who they're connected to see if they're connected to any of the previous people that have made these lies up. These people have to get prosecuted for their crimes and their accusations and their diagnosis murder tricks, such as them abusing me, damaging my looks, and then trying to make up crazy shit on me. I don't tolerate it. I don't play it. I don't associate with any of these people and would never associate with any of these people ever. And hello, synagogues and Vatican and, Jewish religion and Catholic religion. The satellite controllers are still terrorizing me. They're still holding me hostage. And I haven't received any letters. I mean, we get the Catholic newsletter on the internet and Jewish newsletters sometimes they send on the internet, on email. But in reference to anything else, I haven't received anything. These government people are stealing the budget my parents had set up for me. So, I've been paying my utilities out of pocket, and the government is blocking me from my trust funds. Now, see, this man has tried to put his opinion. My parents knew that when I was born, they knew my parents was rich back then, too, So, in reference to my grandparents was wealthy, too. These government men have tried to claim that they didn't think that I had a right being the owner of my mother and father's estates when my parents even had documents at the Treasury that my parents gave birth to me to be the owner of the companies. My parents planned my birth. This man is an outsider. This man is stealing from me. This man is trying to steal the companies and trying to steal property and land is an outsider. He's not any person connected to the estates of my parents. This man does not have any connection to my careers or history. This man is a terrorist. This man is a thief, a con artist. They're hitting me in the stomach and the throat, and they're causing hiccups. That's jolting. That's a crime too. There's more lawsuits. But in reference to this government man trying to play the guilt trip game of saying, oh, he didn't think you deserved to be rich. He didn't think you deserved to be the child of your parents. He thinks you didn't have a right being who you are. That kind of shit. Now let's analyze that. Why do I have a right being who I am? Because I was born as who I am. And I was born as the child of my parents. Who are you? You're not from my family, but you're trying to criticize everything about somebody, but you're making up lies to criticize somebody with your tricks and your manipulations. Your activities is fraud. You don't have a right slandering my character because you are hateful or you're trying to steal things from me and my family history. So if you have a government title, you have to be prosecuted under the laws of this government in this country for using that title in government to manipulate and to steal and to be defrauding me. I'm not your race, I'm not your religion, I'm not your child, I'm not your property. You must get prosecuted for everything you've done to me and everything you've stolen from me. I'm not your child, not your property, not your religion either, government man. So you have to get ordered into court for your crimes and abuses. All your activities of what you have done is fraud. All the activities of your manipulations is deceitful and cruel intentions that you and your people had planned. You people had planned all these things to try to steal from me, as you tried to extort from my mother when your people had kidnapped me from my mother. That's time and dated too. The timeline of this situation is extremely important in history. It's so important for the details of documenting the tricks of these people and how many times they played their same tricks, their abuses, their attempts of raping me, their attempts of sexually assaulting me, their attempts of stealing genetics. And then they tried to claim that they thought I didn't have a right being who I am. I lived with my parents. I grew up with my parents. And then these people kidnapped me from my mother and father's property. I knew my parents. I was raised by my parents. Those children that you stole genetics, they never knew my parents. They didn't know my father. You weren't friends with my father, government man. None of you were that are slandering my character. And if you were friends of them, in reference to people that are in history that were friends of my parents didn't give nobody nothing. I'm the owner of everything. I'm the owner of my mother and father's estates forever. Do not misrepresent the meaning of information. The role protocol of my identities in the media for a lot of reasons, because I own media companies. And it's copywritten forever. Nothing's ever for sale. Never signed, never gave, never sold, never. I'm the owner of my mother and father's estates and my grandparents' estates forever. So in reference to government people trying to play their tricks and their manipulations, those people need to get prosecuted for their crimes. And all their attempts of what they have done, their people have to get prosecuted for every accusation, every attempt of manipulation that they have done, all the running around that I've had to do, or the running around that other people have had to do. The government's got to get prosecuted for trying to roadblock my life and rights and freedom. These people trespassed into a private neighborhood. They trespassed on private property when they kidnapped me, and they must get prosecuted. And they sexually assaulted me, and they must get prosecuted from the 80s, too. And all the other times that they ever tried to steal from me, or every time they tried to extort. They even have the phone calls of when the ransom demands of these people, where they made ransom demands on my mother. We need those publicized in the media, too. And all the court case information needs to be publicized.